Hey, this is Frederick Netsky, 25. Here previously I had made a video scrutinizing the negative attitudes that people had towards Obama's bowing to Emperor Akihito, which is the Japanese emperor, of course. Unfortunately, through much observation that I have made myself, I found the position that I was defending in my last video quite infantile. I had used such defensive maneuvers coming from my own naive bias, and for that I apologize. I had already taken it upon myself to take this video down. Fortunately, through much of my own research, which may be a little rusty, I have decided to make another video defending my position. The facts are, yes, the Japanese and the United States had not always been hand in hand. The attack on Pearl Harbor has happened Sunday, December 7th, 1941. Which is the start of the argument, of course, of why the United States shouldn't bow down to the quote-unquote Japs, because I hate that because it's a racist statement. This was the first known attack that was made on United States soil during World War II. At least during World War II. As many of you, already know, this attack was made to provoke the United States into going into the war versus the Germans, the Japanese, and the Italians via the Axis of Evil, as they called them way back when, during World War II, and before they broke up. And as a retaliation, the United States had dropped a napalm bomb on Tokyo, and they dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima. 2 nuclear bombs. This is where it's at. That is a lot. Anyone knows that 2 nuclear bombs and 1 napalm bomb is quite a lot of damage. So this basically ended the war. Japan was ready to give up at that point. They were ready to give up before the second nuclear bomb was dropped. After this, everything has changed. There was a signed agreement between the United States and Japan, and basically the United States has dismantled the Japanese enemy, and they were no longer to fight or anything. And the United Nations was finally formed as the United Nations. And all of these peaceful organizations that we know of now were formed after World War II. But the bowing bit, many of you might know, not know, but in the Japanese tradition, it is traditional for one to bow down to their elders or someone who is in higher position than you. So let's just say you were my boss in Japan, I would have to bow down to you. Also, I would have to use higher standards of speaking to you. I would have to use the honor of honorable form of language. So they're very strict about that in Japan. It's all about respect. And many people didn't bow to the Japanese Emperor, which wasn't really it wasn't really good. It wasn't really bad, from the standpoint of Emperor Akihito and how he looked. Also, it might have to deal with the ignorance of the tradition of that nation. But it's customary to bow to a Japanese person. And this is regardless of a war that has happened 50, 60 years ago. No, not even that. 70 something years ago. I don't know. I don't really feel like doing the math right now in my head. I really don't care. It happened a long time ago, and it was already done and over with. And it already is. People don't seem to understand that. Finally, Barack Obama has bowed down to show the respect to the Japanese because he was over there in Japan. And showing this respect is just customary. If the Japanese emperor were over in the United States, our U.S. president would be of a higher standard because that is his country. I don't know how you can understand that if you don't. I really don't understand how people can just say that Barack Obama didn't have to bow down to the Japanese president, the Japanese emperor, and it was crazy because it really wasn't. It's just a form of respect that should be showed in a different country because they are in their leading country. The last point I'm gonna make is that the submissive bow made by Barack Obama was because he was basically saying he was sorry for all of the bad that the United States has been done before. Now, this may have been a done and over with statement that was already made previously that happened 60, 70 years ago, but doing something like that is an unsaid agreement saying that I am sorry for what my country has done before to your country, and I really hope we can solve this disagreement, therefore strengthening the respect between the Japanese and the United States. If you do not understand that, you are watching way too much Fox News. Get yourself in a regular position where you can say, let me see, am I going to respect other people's cultures, or I am just going to totally disregard it and say my culture is the only one that is right? This has been Frederick Netsky. Please subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, favorite it. If you didn't like the video, or if you like the video, rate it, and check out my collab channel, Infinite Rum. It's all in caps. And also check out my friend's account, which is basically all about atheism and some about gaming videos, and his name is Alpha Horizon. Just look it up. See you later, and stop watching Fox News.